Very happy and a very warm welcome back to my channel. This afternoon, we give you a piece of breaking news. Meghan and Harry's Archewell charity were mercilessly abandoned. As I said in the previous videos, considering how Harry and Meghan insisted on how they wanted to protect their son and raise him with privacy, it makes a mockery of them using his name to front their foundation. But I also doubt they will make a lot of money with Archewell. Celebrities won't give them their millions, and normal people just like to talk about them because they have so many PR fails and also won't give them any money. And yesterday, according to reports, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's new Archewell Charitable Foundation won't be launched until 2021, after the coronavirus crisis and Black Lives Matter movement prompt delay. It's added that they will focus their efforts on the coronavirus crisis and the Black Lives Matter movement. It is believed the couple was planning to launch their nonprofit organization from Los Angeles in spring, after formally registering the name in the U.S. According to The Telegraph, sources said it is now unlikely Archewell will be launched this year, with the public unveiling not in the cards until 2021. But clearly, Harry has had assistants and personal staff all his life. Not once has he ever stood on his own 2 feet, and now it's obvious he's completely lost without staff to do his bidding. He's also a bit dim, despite the best education money could buy. They're both floundering and will continue to do so. Life in the real world has probably come as a great shock to him, and she's not getting her own way either. They won't want to admit to their abysmal amateur failure here, though, and I can believe it would be her in the driver's seat to push such an ill-informed, amateurish application through. Read Harry Markle's blog for insight into the shambles it was. Instead, they came up with excuses that don't point out their glaring, non-intelligent selves. I suppose if I was them, I wouldn't like to share publicly the truth of my humiliation. Back to this report. It is believed the couple was responding to current affairs, redirecting their efforts to the Black Lives Matter cause and the wider repercussions of the COVID-19 pandemic. The source explained, "What's absolutely clear is that they want to get it right and there's no point in rushing. They are settling into a new life, a new era. This is about getting it right and making sure they are able to make the difference they want to make. I'm betting it will never launch. It was only a few months ago that they announced Megxit, and look how lost Harry seems already. Could it be that whoever registered Archewell did not file the paperwork correctly, too vague on what Archewell represents, then forgot to sign the papers? Apparently it's been thrown out. 2021 is a long way into the crazy PR world of Meghan. I don't think these guys will last in their current arrangement for another 6 months. Something big will happen before then. Plus, not that we care one tiny bit about this, but she could still get on and wind up Sussex Royal, as promised, and take down the Sussex Royal website, as promised, because doing that has nothing at all to do with anything else. And presumably, her statement means they won't be returning to the royal family after a year of reflection, so time to take away all the trappings of her very short royal life. This would be funny, except that poor, dim, hapless Harry and innocent little Archie are the pawns Meghan, the sociopathic, malignant narcissist, is using for her agenda. If only Harry would wake up and see what a complete, utter mess he is in, grabs Archie and runs back to his real family, Meghan would quickly disappear into Z-list obscurity where she belongs. Not only me, but many fans also blasted Meghan. A fan said, "Look at her smug, newly filled face next to her husband, who's obviously tense and unhappy. It reveals so much about her. She must truly be a narcissist. If she really loved Harry, she would be wanting him to be happy too. So far, she's gained everything at his expense. I give it 1 to 2 years until his resentment takes over and it all falls apart." A fan reply to him says, "Do they understand that the longer they wait, the less will be donated? COVID changed the world. Many will lose their jobs and global poverty will take over. I have a horrible feeling that they will return to Frogmore when Meghan Markle realizes no one is going to give them any more free accommodation or security, and she is ghosted by her newfound friends." But another said, "I don't think so. I'll be surprised if the Queen allows them the full year they were given before a review, although she's not known for going back on her word, so I guess she might. Once that year is up, she will act. They have stupidly provided her with more than enough reasons for them no longer to be a part of the royal family, so they will have no one to blame but themselves when the axe falls." Meanwhile, the second wrote, "So delaying the launch of Archewell has nothing to do with the fact that the trademark application was made with insufficient detail, incorrect payment being sent, and the document not being signed then? I guess focusing on other more important issues sounds better whilst they resubmit their application and wait to get the trademark symbol registered.
Hello, I am happy to shoot a short video. To meet your expectations, we realize that we have to try harder, give news as soon as possible, and so happy to have hard fans to support us in the process of completing the channel, and above all, I can do it with my own passion and enthusiasm.
Here's the truth. That's because their trademark application has been rejected. They didn't pay the right fee, forgot to sign the paperwork, and the reasons for starting up too vague. They've probably pushed back in the hope everyone will have forgotten this non-starter of a money-making idea by next year. A fan agreed and said everything is unraveling for Harry, just as predicted. Fell for the lies Markle Sparkle has sold him, that they can become bigger and better than the Queen, that she's going to be a big shot in Hollywood and everyone is going to fall over at her feet. Turns out they're still begging Charles for money and they live on borrowed sofas. What a mighty fall from grace, Harry. You've been marked. And the last one wrote, they should be speaking out, trying to raise money now for existing charities to fight COVID-19. There are plenty of great charities out there to support, but instead they want to start their own so they can siphon off 95% of the donations. I also think they timed this leak to upstage the Queen, who had just given a great speech. It seems to be what they do. They even announced their pregnancy at Harry's cousin's wedding. It is really just all about these two narcissists. We continue with other news. Prince William calls on athletes to create lasting change and mentally healthy culture in sports. Earlier this week, Prince William attended a call-in roundtable discussion with a number of elite athletes, along with Oliver Dowden, the Secretary of State for Digital Culture, Media and Sport. The conversation has held as many across the UK are returning to work in the midst of coronavirus restrictions beginning to be lifted. Many of the athletes spoke about how their own careers had been strengthened by focusing on their mental health, and they also discussed how the sporting world can do their part to help general population as they emerge from lockdown. During the call, the Duke of Cambridge stressed the importance of having a culture that supports mental health present within all sports, and he also spoke about his mental health campaign, Heads Up, which has been promoted alongside soccer in the UK throughout the season. Through the Heads Up campaign, the football community has come together to do its part in driving lasting change by encouraging people to open up about their mental well-being, at the same time as embedding a mentally healthy culture across the sport, Williams said. I believe that there is more we can do collectively to ensure this is replicated across all of the sport. And that is why I'm so happy to be here with you all to discuss how we can make that a reality, he added. We have a unique opportunity to use the tragedy of the pandemic to bring about positive change. As the sporting world begins to return, it is vital that we talk about the mental well-being of our sports people and fans. Williams' initiative, which was also featured in a documentary, is set to culminate at the FA Cup final slated for August 1st, when the showpiece game will be named the Heads Up FA Cup final. The games are set to restart next week. The group of athletes in attendance included former Arsenal and Lionesses player Alex Scott, Johnny Wilkinson, who was a part of England's 2003 Rugby World Cup victory, as well as Dame Sarah Story and Lizzie Yarnold, two of the most successful female Paralympians and Winter Olympians. Oliver Dowden, Secretary of State for Digital Culture, Media and Sport, said, looking after our mental health is as important as our physical health, particularly through the pandemic, which has brought about additional stress and change. The resumption of sport behind closed doors coincides with many people returning to work too, so it's a good time to make sure everyone knows support is available, Dowden added. It was great to be joined by His Royal Highness the Duke of Cambridge, mental health organizations, and some of the biggest names in British sport to talk about mental health. Sport is leading the way in this important conversation, and I pay tribute to football and the Duke for leading a generational shift to attitudes on mental health. Prince William and wife Kate Middleton have repeatedly stressed the importance of mental health, as the health crisis has caused many to experience stress, anxiety, and isolation. Earlier this month, it was revealed that William has been volunteering for Shout 85258, a crisis text line. The Royal is one of more than 2,000 crisis volunteers who are trained to support anyone, anytime, whatever their crisis may be. My news today is ended. How do you feel about it? Please let me know in the comment section and we talk about the royal family members. Don't forget to like and share my video and subscribe to my channel to get more news from the royal family. Now have a nice day and see you in the next videos.